If I have asked you, tell me your story, what would you say? How would you say it? Have you ever truly said your story in a way that everything is contained, that your story becomes not only your inspiration, but a template for other people to hook into and pick up the pieces that resonates with them? This is obviously the story of my life and what made me me. And on the request of many, I usually share this story with people I work with, bits and pieces, but I was really pushed to record this for you because I'm known as a life teacher. People call me a happiness teacher. That's my favorite thing. And I often say there is only one teacher that you will ever need. I only had that one teacher my whole life, and this teacher is still keep on training me, teaching me, and that teacher is called your life. And for anything else that you need is your tools. And what are the tools? Tools are your life data, and your life data is there. And doesn't matter in which point of time you're going to decide to unpack your story. So this video is for everyone. If you're in your 80s, oh my God, you have so much life data already, but this is going to be really helpful if you are in your 20s, teenage years, 30s, 40s, doesn't matter when, because this is the core. This is the benefit, this is the core of the teachings that I am now transmitting on others, working with their life data, because only thing that you really need is this, as I said, your life and your life data, and to have this certain perspective that is beneficial to you. It is about you understanding that it is your job to pick up that beneficial perspective. And my story is going to help you. It doesn't have to be identical view, but something that the basic things are truly universal truths. So as I say my story, I invite you that you go through your story and see where have you been missing things, where you are still a victim, what are the pieces that you still don't understand. And I will invite you that after this video, if something isn't clear to you, leave the comments there and I'm going to reply to you personally, because I'm really passionate about stories, because what stays behind you, it's your story. Only the stories, the tales, they stand the test of time. So are you a main actor in your story? Are you a script writer? Are you the most amazing player in your movie, or you're someone deep, deep, deep down in a backdrop somewhere lost? So, by the way, hi, my name is Maya 7 Stars, and I'm here to help you get to your highest timeline, to your highest potential. My mission is creating masters, mastering yourself, mastering your mind, mastering your life on all the levels. That's what I'm all about, because you're going to hear now through my story how I turned everything the other way. And I often say this is an upside down universe, but this is also your universe that you need to put the right side up. And I know that you're going to love this story, so get ready, get a cuppa or something, and enjoy. So I've chosen to come to enter this earth plane on a very winter day in Germany in a last year of 70s. That was a 79. So as I'm recording this video, I'm 44 years old and my life is literally a fairy tale. But it wasn't always like that. In fact, it was the quite opposite. So I've chosen my parents in this life. So I chose these specific souls to be my parents because I knew the specific circumstances that we actually arranged before coming here. So just to side note is to say that I didn't know all of these things at the time, and how the story unfolds, you're gonna realize, how my story unfolds and how, as I progress, how I got to understand more and more. Because when you become more, the more is given to you, and more you can see, and then more open up, and then more open. It's always like that. It is as God takes you by the hand and shows you a next step, and next step, and next step, and that's, it's just opening biofrequency. So I had a deal with my parents, and I knew exactly what I'm involving myself with. And I didn't know at the time that I was setting up myself for almost 3 years of hardcore struggle. At least, that first 25 years of my life, let's say 20 years, chunk of 20 years of my life, it was really hardcore, painful, and confusing, and all of these things. So I was born in Germany, and lucky me, I had the 5 years template where I had actually image and feeling of happy family, because we were a unit in Germany, and my mother was always with us, and my father was working only. My father was my king, I was his son. It was just a relationship like no other. That was this first experience. And mind me, when it comes to parents and those people, those first experience, there is absolutely no mistake. So understand that you have chose them, and that you have chosen to come as a child to those parents, because they're going to offer you specific experience that is going to give you the gifts that you need, so that you can go the certain path that you wanted to go. And so for me, I had this glimpse until 5 years old, what is the structure of beautiful family unit. It was only my sister, me, and my mother and father. It was a fairy tale. But then when I was 5 years old, we moved to Serbia with my mom and my sister, and my father stayed to work in Germany till the rest of his life. And the family split. All of a sudden, my king was gone, and I was really, sad and all these things. But then it was really drastical change, because then I set up myself for growing up in Serbia, and seeing, the easy life in Germany. Everything was organized, whatever, nice, and things. And then, growing up in Serbia, I set up myself for these 20 years of struggle, where the country itself, just the place where I was in, it was so heavily suppressed from every possible way, especially financially. There were embargoes, inflations, wars, bombing, you name it. And the thing to be even worse, it was impossible to get out of the country. It was impossible to actually progress in this country. It was impossible that you can work and support yourself and be free. It was impossible. And so me growing up, I needed this environment in order for this freedom, this amazing, undeniable, like really powerful desire needed to be born out of me for freedom. And my signature is about freedom, and I'm going now all the levels freedom. But at the time, I was so suppressed, so constructed, so pushed down, and I was digging the whole time for 20 years. And on the other side, I was also really suppressed within my family. How we came here to Serbia. My mother was really frustrated because now all of a sudden she was raising two daughters all on her own, so she was really cold, she was reserved, and all these things, really frustrated. And then my father, working there, he was playing the a game of victim, right? I work for you, he's sacrificing his life for us, and we are ungrateful bastards, probably, or whatever, but that's, that kind of the rules. And, but the thing is that I put myself in such a unique pressure because my father was controlling, mother was controlling, everything was forbidden for us. And to things be even worse, same same rules wouldn't apply to my sister or me. My sister, she was a golden child, and they keep investing in her till forever. And for me, there was nothing. There was always nothing. For me, it was always forbidden because someone needed to take a toll. And me, it took me really quickly, to become a rebel because I already got into this life, so when you have a child, and if you can recall this period when you say, oh my God, this child just has a personality on its own. It's not a personality, it's actually the gifts that you have brought with yourself in this life. And I already had so many gifts, which was, the strong will, mind of my own. I had really sense of justice, and I was all about the truth. That was something that was really installed in me, and you might heard me often saying that God is truth, and I was always connected to the higher realms, to the God. I was always searching, and so my parents didn't like that, and because I had a mind on my own, and like I couldn't say yes, 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 and then turn around and do another thing, but I would go, same as you can see me now. Like Maya always gives it straight. And that's what I do. I often say I'm in business in truth because that's the only language that I can talk, and it's truth. And I keep myself to the highest standards and all the other people because of that. But those are some of the gifts that I already had with me, and for them, I was obviously a difficult child, right? Because I wouldn't listen. I didn't want to submit. They couldn't buy me. They couldn't bribe me. They couldn't put a grip on me. They couldn't do anything. So by the end, my journey there, everything was taken away. Like I wasn't getting anything. I wasn't allowed to work. I wasn't, all the things that would mean kind of freedom, they were taken away from me. And still, I was finding the way because I was in that environment so that I can think and think and think outside of the box. And I was always above the average, and never no one helped me with anything. That was, me in training. I wouldn't, if I just, if I would just say like, yes, nicely, this and that. No, I couldn't do that. Like they wanted me to be like my sister. I said, I don't want to be like my sister. Be like everyone else. I don't want to be like everyone else, and I was really constantly trying, this, and then this injustice, because one rules were for my sister and the other one for me, and I was constantly, speaking for myself, trying to, because I would just say how it is, and people didn't like that, nor my parents, nor my teachers, nor whatever. And so it got really, really bad. We got a grandmother in the first couple of years, and she was bossy. And my mother, she was young, and this, my grandmother, she was Slovakian, and she was all about work, 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 work. And we were always working. We were like little slaves, always in a garden, this and that. Everything was forbidden, The bicycles locked, the video recorder locked, whatever. So it was always something like frequencies that I was fed constantly. You are not worthy, you haven't deserved, whatever, whatever, whatever. And then it really came, it was really horrible, because then when I just hit my teenage years, the things to be even worse, my father got his first heart attack and came home for 4 years. And that was like 4 years of pure hell, because, all of a sudden we had a father in my home that was like a guest. Before, he would just come and go, we already split it, and there was constant war. Everyone, they were against me. Even before that, my sister, my mother, my grandmother, they were all, it was, someone needed to be blamed, and they would call my father, and then my father would come home and beat the crap out of me. And it was always something, always something, always something. And everything I did, it was not good enough. And I was blamed, when he got this heart attack. It was because of me. When my mother got cancer again, it was, because of me. I was told that. And, things like, on one Christmas, my mother leaves my father for a whole day, kind of to prove the point for something else. I was to blame because she left because of me. And, things like that. And then the things got really, really, really hard. And I was 22 years old, and things got to that point, where I was hearing my mother like, go away, get married so I don't look at you anymore. And, so I was like, because all this time, I just, all this pressure was producing in me to create something out of me, this wish for me to succeed, this wish of me to create a happy life, this wish of me to create the freedom. But I couldn't even get the visa for Germany, for the country I was born in, not the boarding neighbors, boarding countries. It was hilarious. And I keep on digging, but I couldn't just leave, because you couldn't survive in Serbia. It was not like today that you can get a flatmates or whatever, internet, endless options. And I said to myself, well, it can't get any worse than this, right? Well, wrong. And what I did, I married the first guy that passed. And given my frequency at the time, being even then, I was like a old, a lone wolf. I was never part of the pack. It was them against me. I have the whole one box of my diaries, as a proof of that, because that was my way of staying sane and writing things down, getting things out, because it was constant, this injustice. It was this constant struggle. It was this constant pressure, suppression, like everything was impossible. And I said, okay, it cannot be anything worse. But given my frequency at the time, right, and the wrong reasons why I decided to got married, so from the other side also got into that from the wrong reasons. And this is where I dig myself even deeper, because given my frequency, I just attract it. And this is what happens with most of the people that never unpack their life. So the circumstances, probably a relationship with your father for women, that's how they're going to find their partners. And that's exactly what I found, because my father was abusing me, whatever. He was always angry because, all the other things they were feeding him. And so he was really, really angry. And then I got even worse than all of that. And that was like a checkmate. And I was abused on all the levels for a whole year. So I was so deep, and I couldn't see the way out. It was just impossible, because once you get married, there is nowhere you can come back, right? And nor that I would go back. And I was just, you know, I remember myself, my sentence was in my head, I hope that I'm going to get used to on being so unhappy. While in the same time, I was so proud, that little pride that I have left, because I thought that I cannot change anything. I couldn't even share these struggles with, you know, any of my friends or whatever. So I even cut all of my friends, and I was fully alone in this deep suffering with someone who was abusing me on so many levels. And not even then would I pick myself and choose myself, because I was really at the point that I didn't exist. I remember someone told me back then, like, Maya, you should do things for yourself, like, you know, to pamper yourself to. And I'm like, myself? That never crossed my mind, because, you know, even though I was here talking my truth with my family, but deep down, I really wanted to please them, and it was impossible. Everything I tried, I never made them proud, you know. So I was thinking, maybe when I get married, maybe they're going to get proud, you know. And they never did. They never did, you know, until another story. So I was so deep, but I was so lucky. So it was my design, like it's your design, your story. And again, I invite you to, by listening, start remembering your own story. And for me, I was so lucky, because the things got so bad so quickly that it came to the point of life or death. And not even then was I able to choose myself. But what happened on the crucial day, I was molested for a whole day, night and day, and there was a child from his brother that was 3 years old, and we were crying for a whole night, day and night, and you know, we were begging him to stop, but he was just crazy. And but not even then could I choose myself. You know, the door were locked and all of it, and I was thinking, you know, this is it, you know. And then something amazing happened, because it just, you know, that little power that I had left, it lit on. And I was like, you know, back then I was thinking, like, you know, I had no control of, you know, of where I came to the family. I had no control of all this suffering and abuse that I was going through. But how can I consciously choose something for a new life, to be brought with this craziness, to put this new life through the suffering, through me, and I would never forgive myself. And that's what it took for a new life to come through me, to give me a gift of new life. How symbolic that is. And in a split second, somehow, I got to my phone, and I called my mother, and I just said to her, Mom, come. I think like 2 seconds later, you know, the door are opening and the light is coming in, and like, oh my God, I'm saved. You know, this clown is still going over some stories, you know, putting now everything on me. Everything in the house was smashed. This child, he was like, crying, can you imagine? And me crying for this whole night. I was begging him, don't do that, my stomach hurts, and this child, but no. And he turned the story around, but I just didn't care. And this is when I actually left. And of course, I couldn't, I wouldn't and couldn't, come back home, but then I actually managed, and I got myself a little room, like a small apartment, 3 by 3, in a city. And it was the best thing and the saddest thing ever. And I've got into this apartment, and no one wanted me. I was so broken. I was so damaged. And I was looking in the mirror, and I was looking to this image, and I was like, who is this person? And to things be even worse, I looked like a person that was released from a nut house. Seriously, because my face changed because I haven't smiled for a whole year. And I was looking at that mirror, and there was no one else standing but me. And this is when I was forced to come back to myself. No one wanted me, no one, and I didn't even want anyone around, because I wouldn't justify myself. I wouldn't explain myself, like I haven't said to anyone, in a village, because I was now embarrassment for my family, obviously, right? I just got married 4 years, 4 months later, this happens. The whole village is talking, but I just didn't care. I didn't justify myself, and I always knew the truth will come out, as it did, and I had no problems, and I wouldn't explain myself like I never have. And but in this apartment, and I got myself a cat. And black cat that, oh my God, bless his heart. His name was Baby, and he was my savior. Probably some old soul somewhere. He listened to me cry. Every day we talked. And whenever I wasn't working, because I was working for the whole night, 14 hours, 16 hours, and then I would go home in the morning without the pay, because, other things, people stealing money or whatever, and I would go pretty often hungry. And but it was amazing, because this is the first time that I experienced and felt freedom, because all of a sudden no one was there on my case, and I felt like a ton weight lifted off my shoulders, and I didn't mind that I don't have what to eat. I remember one day opening the fridge, and there was just like 2 sausages, like in a jar or something. Like, who's gonna eat, me or you? Well, he eat, my little cat. I mean, my big cat. Bless his soul. So, and this is where I started to come back to myself. This is where I fully dropped what the whole world is going to say. I realized no one is interested in me. No one was coming there to see me. No one asked how I was and these things. No one came, hey, there is 50 euros for your heating winter or something. But I always have good friends around me that help me out and things. And so this was necessary, and it took like 23 years, which is 5, right? The number 5, which is change. And for me to start coming back into my power. And then from there, because I was waitressing, and it was really hard, and I started to go and to work seasons on the coast in Montenegro. And oh my God, I fall in love with Montenegro. My favorite city is Kotor Bay. It's absolutely amazing. And so as I came there to do a couple of seasons, and it's just God in work and how energies works. I meet there people that older people, like they were like age of my parents, that just fall in love with who I was. And I told them everything about me, good and bad and all of it. And how this world works, it is, 2005 that I felt interesting. This is the same eclipses now for 2005. No wonder I record this video at this time. So the first time I actually feel what is love of the parent, what means that someone is really, worrying about you, having your best heart, best interest at heart. And it was from these people, total strangers. And, they just wanted to help me. And because of them, because like I said before that, it was even at that time, it was impossible to go anywhere out of the country, especially with my Serbian passport, excusez-moi. And but these people, they found some captain and connections, and they literally helped me to embark for the first time on the cruise ship. And this is where I end up cruising for 6 years. Soon after that first company, it was some Italian company. And then after that, I found my 6 stars cruise line, which was Crystal Cruises. If you know, my ship was Symphony. And this is where I spent 6 years cruising all around the world, not just every day in a different city, but I was literally every day in a different country. And I went around the globe for 5 times, literally. And I needed this experience because without that willpower, because I needed to do certain things to pass some brevets, I need to get the money for that, and all these things, but it all came into the play. That time, my mother helped me. She gave me, I remember, 1,000 euros. That was the first time, and because I said, Mom, if there is ever a time you're going to help me, this is it. And she heard me, and she gave me, and because of that, I passed some tests and, done some C school, whatever, that I needed at that time. When I left, it was impossible for anyone to leave, and I wouldn't go if I didn't have these people to help me just because they wanted to. And this is where I've done the best work of myself, because all of a sudden I was out of this environment, that I was digging my whole life, and I was free. And yes, I was working like crazy, but I was always talking to people. I was working with millionaires. My guests, they were really high-end people. It's not like a regular cruise line that you can see and everyone can go or whatever, pay in 100 times. But this cruise line was really something different, because people would come and stay for months, and it was really service, 6-star service. And those people, I love their stories. I learned so much from them. And that's, when I was really working on myself. I remember when we hit America, and everyone, all the chicks, they go to shopping. Maya goes to bookstore. Maya goes to buy food for the mind. And Maya goes, to buy the audio, like CDs, to listen and stuff, because I was just about me becoming someone amazing. And so by the age of 30, I traveled the whole world. Because of all this experience, I was fully healed. Because of all of this, I was able to then have a fairy tale happen, which I'm going to record for Valentine's Day. Wait for that, my love story. It's literally a fairy tale that happened to me only because I fully fell in love with myself, because I fully healed, and I moved into the country of my choice where my prince was waiting, right? And the story developed. So I moved to Australia when I was 31, got married to my soulmate, and then I started another. That was the first time when I was complete. And looking back, oh my God, all of these things needed to happen, because if it wasn't for this first crazy person that was molesting me, I would never got to the point to get and to say to myself, well, I deserve 100% or nothing. Like, why would I have anyone to be on my case? I have this, and now how I'm progressing with my life, these things that so the old gifts, refurbished, and the new gifts acquired, and I keep on building those new gifts. And one of the gifts is this freedom. I needed to be in those circumstances so that I could produce this desire. And you heard me saying the desire is your lead from God, and so everyone in your life is all about you exchanging gifts with one another. There is no good guy, there is no bad guy. There is only the transformational experience. So whoever was in your life longer than 5 minutes, they had a gift for you. Have you received that gift? Have you given them your gift? Because life is truly about exchanging gifts. This is why I always say everything is an opportunity. And the gifts are always what? Wisdom and virtues. And so starting my life in Australia, and it was a beginning. So that was 12 years ago. It was just now my wedding anniversary, 10 days ago. And I was already free on so many levels. And then I set up myself to fully free ourselves, from the place we are living, how we are working, for who we are working, and build up the life, retired my husband, fully operating in freedom, not being scheduled, to the point of not being scheduled, fully operating from using all of my gifts, all of my wisdom, and life is a total joy. And on the side note, I'm going to tell you about this big influence of my father. At the beginning, I couldn't understand. First I was thinking life is happening to me, obviously. Then I realized, oh my God, I chose them. Like, why did I choose them? What was I thinking? Right? But then how I started to progress, it is how more and more things would open to me, and I would see more and more things. And obviously my father, he was my king, and then he was villain for 20 years. And then I've got to understand, and then I saw that, so obviously we had a contract, and his part of the deal, it was always to push me away, to push me away, to push me. Whenever I would come home, they would push me away. And my thing, it was to succeed on my own. Then on one occasion, I was on my walking meditation, and I was like, what was I thinking? I want to go back, show me. I asked to be shown, this is in recent years, when I was already, right, all open and all these things, like, show me show me the time when I was arranging this with my father in, etheric world. And it was hilarious, because I was saying I want this and that and this and that, and he was saying, well, it's going to be hard. And I was like, no, it's not going to, it's okay. I can manage it, because I really wanted to get it this life. I really wanted to get it. And he was saying it's going to be hard, but saying, no, I'm up for a challenge. I know I can do this. But he was saying it's going to be hard, but saying, no, no, no. And, when you think about it, that's exactly what my personality is. It was. Now I'm easing up, before, like, because I had this strong mind. I knew already what I had. And I knew, that I'm going to stay true to myself, which I did, eventually. And I actually passed with flying colors. And so that was really interesting to see. And then when my father passed away 2 years ago, all of the sudden, how he passed away, I felt his energy with me. And not only that, I felt the energy, the native energy that I was feeling only as a child in Germany, that it's a color, it's a feeling, it's not his construct, but it's his energy that I knew really well. And I was surprised how quickly I stabilized, because he was my wound, he was my weak spot. And I remember before that, even we were clashing all the time, he was my king, daughter and fathers, there's something there. And I was surprised how quickly I stabilized, and I felt his energy, and then a whole nother thing opened up. It is when I actually realized that I have become a master. I didn't look for it. I didn't push for it. Like, it was just a realization, because I saw what I have become, and that, now, and then, so the other pieces of the puzzles, they have been shown to me. And then one night, as I channel, and I love to channel by writing, and then one night, before I would go to sleep, I just put a couple of, if I really want to get clear answer, I do it, I write the questions in the night, and then in the morning when I get up, I'm just going to look the questions, and I'm going to get the answers, because I'm just fresh and out of the sleep, still in that theta state and stuff. And I wrote the question, I want to know who my father actually was, like, who is his soul, who is this essence, because I was confused, like, feeling him now and all these things, and I saw that there is more. And as I wrote this, and I was putting my phone down and turning in my bed to sleep, but because I read the question, the answer instantly came, and it said Saint Peter, and I'm like, what? And then it just went in our culture. Saint Peter, I don't think is the same as in Catholic thing, but the story goes, in my world, we say Sveti Petar is like a Saint Petar, but he's all about the wisdom. He's the teacher. He's about he's a big teacher, and in some ways you will find it's like Saint Peter. He holds the keys of the heaven, the gates of the heaven, in this way. And I was like, come on, is this even possible? And here I was, even though I was so developed, because I never look at that. I never open, his Akashic or mother's Akashic. Just for some reason I haven't, because it wasn't the time. And in my little construct, I was thinking about, like, when he died, like, when he dies, I was cleaning the ancestors and everything else. I was thinking, like, is he going to be able to ascend, to transmit, or what's going to happen to him? And here, me realizing he was actually a master that came to train me. And because it's not only about me, it's about him as well, and about everyone else that he had a gift to share with. So what was the deal for him? Why did he came here? Like ascended masters, why would they come here when they, as we have, most of us, we have been in every possible story, we have been all the nations, black, white, yellow, name it, red, poor, rich, experience so many things, and who is already ascended, those obviously have been everything. And what person like that will come for in this life? What I was shown that my father came to experience what is life on earth without love. And when I realized that, it was like the whole puzzle just clicked together, and it made just so much sense, because only like that he was able to perform what he did. And in my human understanding, he done exceptionally well. My mother fully agrees with that, because he was actually incapable to feel love, and living the life like that for 72 years that he almost had before he passed, it's just mind-blowing. But that's, and that was, our deal, that what he gonna do with me. And then what I realized, we actually had a moment, our last conversation, the day after he would get a heart attack and would go to the hospital, and 2 weeks later he was gone. We actually had a moment, and he called me and we spoke, and it was 2 years into the lockdowns and this latest thing we had. And when he heard that I've said, just, nonchalantly, that I haven't left home for 6 months, and he was like his jaw dropped. I saw how he was surprised, because I haven't been complaining, I haven't been saying anything, because I actually had a ball at the time, and I hit another levels of freedom and entering the peace at that time. But he was scrambled, and that was the first time that he asked me, how do you live? Because it took him 5 years to ask, how do I live? Because my husband is not working for 5 years, and no one is leaving home, and he can see me happy and all of these things. And I've shared so easily, and I said to him, well, I'm free, I'm not part of the system, I freed myself, I work from my gifts and from my talents, and no one can buy me, try me, put a grip on me, bribe me, whatever, which he was obviously familiar with. But I shared with such a enthusiasm, and it was so easy. But in the same time, what I realized from that conversation, it wasn't to make him proud, it wasn't to prove him a point. The point was already proven. I was fully healed. I managed to heal that relationship from the distance. Last time I saw him, it was 5 years ago, and I healed that. And that was the moment when we had this look. He couldn't believe it. Me in Australia just got there, and full of confidence and freedom. I'm not part of the system. I'm not part of the government. I don't depend on anyone, just on myself, all my gifts and everything. He was like, tomorrow. He got sick, got heart attack, and left for hospital. He was gone. And then after all these things that happened, I actually, oh my God, I remember that it was so weird. It was like his soul came, and I saw, and it was like the master is testing his disciple, did I pass? And his job was done. And the latest thing, I've just got up got out of the 22 days of full darkness. I'm still healing in Thailand. And 22 days in a dark room. Not one dull moment. I'm still 30 days I haven't had physical food because what I'm doing now, I'm I'm exploring other levels of freedom because this is how it goes. My main lesson was freedom. On the end of this road is total sovereignty. But for me, it's about now exploring and enjoying this amazing clear energy. I'm feeding from source. And you can only do that when your lifestyle is sorted, when you are balanced. When your emotional life and your mental life is satisfying you, everything around you is created to nourish you. This is why I'm now source feeding, exploring, just leaving it open. But it's another level of freedom. Not being dependent of food, like, come on, right? Come on. That's another level. Now for me, exploring and realizing how much energy do I have, and I'm sure that you can see the difference in me, and like I even see some physical changes, and it has been only a month, and just realizing how zen I am, and like how fully balanced out and reset I am, and that's freedom. Because of all this experience, I needed to travel the whole world. Not only to travel the whole world, but I knew that I need to expand my horizons, but also why I'm always saying to my people, you have to travel, because the whole earth around, wherever you go, different parts of the earth, you activate those parts inside of your body. You are the body of earth. Your body comes from earth, and you visiting other places all around the world like I have. I went from all the poles, to Amazon, Amazon forests, you name it, everywhere. And all those things activated me because I needed to step into my mastery, and I'm just getting started. I'm just getting started, and now giving this template to other people, to master themselves, to master their life. And unless you receive the gifts that are meant for you, you cannot progress. And does it make sense now when I say you only need one teacher and all your data? It's truly that. And your closest ones, even though, that villain, that guy that was molesting me, thank him. I'm thanking him, because if it wasn't for him, I would never be able to fully go to the other side. Yes, I needed 10 years to heal myself, but I didn't settle for anything than 100%. This is why, through my experience and all these things that I'm so passionate about, and what my whole another part of this journey, hence why I'm recording this now, because so much more is coming for me, but why I'm so passionate about bringing new humans, what I call 8.0 new humans, to the earth. And it's all about, the high responsibility, how the new children should be brought up to this world, how they should be given their training. Are you fit to be a mother? Are you a mentor? Are you capable of raising a new child? Or that child is going to need 10 years, like I needed counseling with myself to reset back. So that's a whole nother thing that is now rising inside of me. obviously. And, this excitement for life, the other reasons why I'm exploring now this source feeding is because the energy levels, and I love my love so much, I want more of it. I want more of it. I want to give more. I want to be more. I want to leave more behind me, to write all my books and all these things. And if I haven't put myself to such a difficult training, and it was hard, let's say by the age of 30, because I was working like a horse and all of these things. And then the first time when I came to Australia, find my husband, that was like a whole another, first time that I've got someone to play for my team, to support me. I needed to learn to support myself, to invest in myself, and all of these things. When I heard for the first time in my life the words, listen to this, I'm proud of you. Do you know who told me that? Those words, they came from my own voice. And all my life I wanted my father to tell me, I'm proud of you. Well, it never happened. But the best thing ever is because I was able to say, I'm proud of you. And then I got my hubby to play for my team and everything else. My parents done well. And, they gave me exactly what I needed. And it was all my plan. And unless you can say, like I can, from the bottom of my heart, if I could go back and if I needed to go back, I would do exact same thing. I would go through all of the suffering once again in a heartbeat, because I have become this person, and only through that experience I could have become this, because voila, we got this amnesia, right? And that was the only, this juice. So where is the juice for you? How are you saying your story? Are you still being a victim in certain relationships, or you can actually remove the pain and see, okay, what is the gift of this person? Oh, my grandmother, she gave me a gift of generosity. I realize this now in the dark room, because she was so, hard. Life was hard, and they were very poor, and she needed to everything to make her own, so that make her really selfish with money. And I really didn't like that. I really don't like selfish people. I really don't. I just don't like them. And that made me generous. That's what I realized, And it was always in my blueprint that I succeed on my own. Recently, I'm working with my mom for 12 years. My mom is now thriving, even after my dad passing. I'm working with her so much, and she is really it's not what I preach her, but because she sees my life, she sees my marriage, she sees that I am having more freedom because of this marriage, more than I would have if I'm on my own. That's freedom. And I'm free in everything. And she sees that what I'm preaching, what I'm teaching, what I'm doing, it's working. And she sees it on her own result. And just recently, I was like, oh my God. And my mom, I realized how she really likes when she gets up in the morning, and she gets to my TikTok and listens to my short videos, just to set her up, because she connects to my energy like most of the people, and it just, it hits a certain frequency, and they're up high, and I realized, oh my God, my mom is supporting. Whenever I have a premiere, she's the first one to watch. She's my best student. It's amazing. And I was always the worst of everyone, and now because she realized she's actually getting to know me, and she really loves me. And I'm like, oh my God, isn't this beautiful? My mom is supporting me on my YouTube and leaving the comments. And I was like, hang on a minute. You know why? Because now she's allowed to. Now she can support me, because I don't need the support anymore. Now she can. When I was starting this, she wasn't. I needed to, that was my blueprint. This is what I wanted. To succeed, to do, to free myself on all level on my own. It's so empowering to say, never no one gave me anything. You know, these people, they helped me and I own them, you know, like these people that helped me to, you know, sail the world. You know, but that's how God works. When it's your time, it's your time. And now, just after this dark room, and I'm getting ready for my next stage, which is going to be massive. And so I hope that you enjoy this story and that it's going to give you permission to really go back and to see all those people. They are not villains, you know. Even more so, people that, you know, really gave you a hard time, they are clearly your closest family, because they actually volunteer to be the villain in your life, because, you know, you just have to see what this experience is showing to you. What is the gift? Is that simple. And life is really all about raising in frequency so that you can, you know, experience life on highest levels. Just for example, when it comes to source feeding, I was now spending one month with a woman that hasn't eaten for 30 years solid food. It's just a proof that how you are spending your time, what is your lifestyle, that is what is feeding you. And people that live fully of the source is because of their lifestyle, right? And if they're gonna take food, food puts them down. It's similar to, you know, when you stop drinking, whatever, and if you're gonna take a drink, that drink is gonna put you down instead of bring you higher. That's how it works. And you know, so you came here for this experience. You came here to exchange gifts, to give gifts. And now I'm all in mode giving gifts. Giving is there is more and there is more, and people getting magnetized to me. And it's all about your lifestyle. My brand is called 7 Stars Lifestyle. That's playing on a highest level, because what is playing on a highest level is about you not being in a reality that most people are in these beta brain waves, but you go higher, you go alpha, you go theta. And you know, this is why meditations and, you know, your lifestyle needs to support this. Your lifestyle is here to feed you. It's not even, you know, that you need to watch the sun or to do this. It's like nature is feeding you. The source is feeding you. We call it source feeding. And I'm experiencing this now, recording this video, 3 days having no food, and energy levels are just like, I don't know, can you hear me talking? But I'm high. I'm literally high on water. It's mind-blowing. It's the next level of freedom for me. Freedom of hunger. It's, you know, where the humanity is going, you know, eventually. Hunger of spiritual hunger, physical hunger, emotional hunger, mental hunger, sexual hunger. People are always hungry for something. And that's keeping you in these little realities. That's keeping you, just think about, for example, the food. It takes you 70% of your time just about food. Everything is about food. To work for food, to prepare to food, to eat the food, and then when digestion hits, you drain that life force energy. And so this is how the story goes. This is how you should analyze yourself. This is why you should be working with me if you resonate with me, because what I do, it's a transformational with people. When I get into your life, I'm a catalyst. And everything gets changed and put, you know, like I put my upside down world the right side up. That's what I do. There is options available now for 40 days. That's like, the quick thing, but if you're really ready to go all the way, you can contact me, and that's like 6 months program and 1 year program if you're ready to take up the world. And if there is like anything, like the other day, I was, solving the problem of one guy in the business in a 3 minutes time, that charges 100,000 for a client. And, I came up with a solution that's gonna, improve his experience and success rate in his business. And so if it's emotional, if it's domestic, if it's business, whatever you need to work on, I'm your person. So I'm really passionate about it. And so, yes. So the next thing, what I wanted to tell you is that I would really love to hear your story. I would really love to hear if you're going to have any questions. Count your blessings, count your presents that you've got, my mother, she was, cold and closed and frustrated and all these things. She gave me a gift to be this embodying now for the 20 years. What I was embodying, it's frequencies of a divine mother. Like, all of my people, and I just realized that I was doing this automatically. I was just through this process. All of my people, I love them. I'm already a mother. I'm already the divine mother. Like, I'm a mother to my mother now. It's something installed in me. Like, I'm this full of love for my children, and not looking them as a children, but I'm looking them as a inspiration. All of my people that work with me are like bundle of potential, and my job is to give you this tool and this tool and this tool and this tool, and then off you go. Off you go. I don't want you dependent on me. No, I want you to get, these things that I needed to do all on my own. This is what I'm so passionate about, because all of those people, they were me in a past, and I didn't have anyone to help me. I needed to do everything on my own. So my job is to give you all the tools, to give you the mindset to unprogram all this BS, so that you can actually start to create a different versions of reality, experience something different. Because let me tell you something, you don't have to learn from the hardcore, hard experiences like I've shared here. This is only for the beginning, because, unfortunately, this is when we learn the fastest, and even then, people never learn. So, my father actually gave me the gift of independence, of freedom, with all the construction and oppression. My mother, right, gave me this gift of becoming this nurturing, and, my grandmother, this generous person, valuable person. The child that came to save me, that, it needed to come, the innocent life to come and save me. It was the aspect of myself that came to save me, because I was so deep that I couldn't choose myself even then, when it was the decision to live or not to live. And I decided, for the innocent life to live. And it just came briefly and went. How about that? How symbolic. New life gave me a new life. And I will just end up with this, what I was shown now in the dark room, as I was connecting to my future self, and I was working with my future self the whole time. And the first image I was given, and it's so easy in the dark, because you can see that's going to be a whole nother video about all my gifts that I've got in the dark room. Guys, it's amazing. And I saw my future self on the spaceship. Guess next to who? It was my father. And I said, I love you. And he didn't say, I love you too, but he said, I know. And we just clicked, and, so it's obvious that we are continuing our journey, and I download now in the dark room everything from my future self and done so much work I'm going to share with you next. But I trust that you have enjoyed this story, and that you can see how, and that it's never too late. You still have all those lessons, and, just go back and see, have you used them or you submit to them? Like it was for me, I was almost gone. They almost broke me. Like I said, my face was changed. I was literally, so abused. I was sitting in a one corner. I was already like a crazy person. But, I bet on my strong mind, my brilliant mind all along, and I was right, which I just confirmed now. I just see it across the road. My dark room, when I realized, oh my God, I'm just there. I'm just there. There is no monkey mind. I'm just balanced out fully. World is my oyster, and it should be yours as well. So this was my 7 stars. I'm going to leave you my email down if you are resonating with me, because people always, God always sends me people that I can help. And as I said, it was 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. You cannot make these things up. That I can help. And otherwise, I would not be doing this. So I love you so much. I trust that you love the story, and I would really love to hear your story. And if any questions, please do so. My email is there if you're ready for the next level, or to join my pawn group. Amazing group of people, because this lifestyle and where we are going, it's all about now, okay, freeing yourself, the part that I've done already, but now what is the next level for this another earth where we are now approaching, establishing. It's all about a collaboration. It's all about creatives coming together, healers coming together, inspiration coming together. This is how we grow. It's not individual level anymore, but we are getting more into the groups, and that's the next level. But you just have to do the groundwork. Like, for example, these 40 days is something that's going to reset you fully to yourself. There will not be escaping. You would not be able to go look left or right. You would not be able to turn the blind eye. You would not be able to lie to yourself ever again. And that's the only, that's the reset, that is the groundwork that you need to get to if you're going to create anything. Okay? So this was my 7 stars, and I was really happy to bring this story to you. So I'm going to see you in my next video.